Hello and blessings, beautiful souls. So it is a dark and rainy day today, and it's quite cold. I'm indoors in the cottage. I'm currently sitting in the kitchen of my witch's cottage. The fire is going, and I just had a little chat to my coven, right? So I recently posted a little photo thing style on YouTube introducing my coven. And this is something that I was inspired to create due to the multitude of people that did approach me asking me if I would ever create a digital sacred space. And especially since I've recently done this aesthetic thing and I really talked about my passion for witchcraft, I did get that desire to truly share as much authenticity within the craft as humanly possible, and to help people to remember their path as a witch, not to teach them how to be a witch, but to help them to remember by giving them as many tools as I am possibly capable of giving them to remember. So there was lots and lots of questions when I posted it in several different parts of social media. So I just quickly wanted to touch base. I had a tier on Patreon called The Witch Weaver. I have turned that Patreon tier into the Coven of the Witch Weaver. This was by unanimous decision. It was something that I asked the Patreons of that tier if they would be comfortable with, what they wanted, what kind of arrangement they would be most comfortable with. And they really did request that I turn that tier into the Coven. That is my all witch tier anyway. So any information that I have previously shared on that tier is all related to my practice as a witch, to thoughts about witchcraft, to blog posts, to photos, to videos, and all behind the scenes. This is a lot of stuff that has never appeared on YouTube. It's a lot of videos about my personal opinions and information, live Q&A kind of stuff. It's all there for access on that tier. So that is where the coven is being formulated. So that is the coven there. And we have a private Facebook page associated to it. And it was set up just yesterday, and already we have a beautiful community there and introduction videos being made. I place great emphasis on community, and for me, I need to feel it. I need to feel my community, and I want to look and I want to hear, and I want to be able to see the faces, the eyes, the accents behind the names on my screen. I just want to know who they are and a little bit about their story. And so at the moment, we're going through the process of posting introduction videos. And that way we can see where we all are, hear the accents, look at the faces and all that sort of stuff. So, it's been so nice to hear people's voices and to see their faces, even though it can be a bit nervous. So that is where we are at this moment in time. So I just wanted to quickly jump on here and let you know that this is happening. This is happening. And I was inspired to do this really because I have recently moved away from my coven. I love coven life. I've been very blessed in my life to be able to be a part of some incredible covens that work, covens that inspire, that nourish, that teach through practical experience rather than hierarchical dictatorship types of arrangements and big egos, which I know there are covens out there very much like that, or plagued with certain personalities like that. And I've had a brush with these covens as well, because I do love coven life, and I have been a solitary, but I know myself that a coven suits me better than being solitary. And I also know, having lived in the past in geographically challenging situations, that I haven't always had community at my disposal. I've lived in some very isolated communities in Australia, in the Northern Territory, and up in the top in the Torres Strait Islands. And it can be very geographically challenging, and it can be lonely. And as a practitioner, I truly feel that if you can't engage with community in any way, then practices do begin to stagnate a bit, and it does affect the flow of your practice. This is not to say that coven life is for everyone, because it absolutely is not. And each to their own. We all have a thing that we like to do. We all have an environment that that inspires us. And for some, it's on the fringe and doing your own thing. And for others, it's community And I happen to think, just from a scientific point of view, from a personal nourishment point of view, from a family oriented point of view, community is extremely important. But finding community that you resonate with is not necessarily so easy. And when you have to take geography into that account, then it can be tricky business again. And that's why I've created this digital space. It is a coven in keeping with my own values. It is not a coven that is based on dictatorship. It is a coven based on me providing you with certain levels of inspiration, and then coven members providing each other with a certain level of inspiration, and me digging up some tools that I learned when I was a little wee one, all the way up until right now, and sharing those tools with you so that you can really grow in your practice if that is exactly what you want to do and the way that you would like to do it. There is no tradition that we will be following. In case you wonder, there's no gender bias either, and that's important to state. I do belong to two traditions, one which I created myself and one which I was born into, but neither one of those traditions will be prevalent. There'll be aspects of course, because that they create the foundation of my practice, so it's hard not to pull from that foundation from time to time. But that's basically it. So I just wanted to get on here and to just do a little clarifying. The link to my Patreon is in the bottom of most of my videos, any current videos that I'm doing. My chat, holy doolies, what happened? Wow. How exciting. Thank you. Oh, hi, Tammy. Hi, Solaria, Grace the Space, Guinevere, Becky Jarrell. Oh, I can't pronounce that, but Yukio is what I can pronounce. I am so Book Linus, Megan J, Barbara, Logush. Oh, gosh. Oh, I know. Have I missed anyone? Can't pronounce it. See an awesome 291. Dree, my sister. Michelle S, Mistress Panther Knight, Maria, 09 Crafty 09, Unicorn Pies, Liana. Oh, hello everybody. Hello everyone. I just want to put it out there, not place, but I wanted to put out there that Coven for me is all about good community and trusting your community and having a supportive and enriching online community. So I demand respect, not just for myself, but for any member of that space and any member of any community that is sharing authentically. It is something that is slowly slipping away, especially on social media, is that essential level of respect where you actively listen to another person speaking, you accept the information without judgment, process it, and formulate an opinion in response that is both respectful, articulate, and equally as valid. So it's very important to me to have that respect. It's very important to me to encourage people to be very curious, to critically think, which I often talk about, is just being very individual in thinking and being open to sharing your thoughts so that the conversation can expand, so that the dialogue can be kicked up a bit. And the more conversation we can generate on a subject, the more exciting that subject becomes, and the more we each individually stand to understand that particular subject. When something is genuinely dissected, it's amazing. Also, I like study. I like studying witchcraft, so there will be a little bit of study there. There will be a bardic influence, and I have said this in my Patreon sort of description, that those who do want to, who resonate with what it is that I'm doing here and who would like to participate in this, you really do have to be comfortable speaking to a camera and owning the kind of equipment, whether that just be a smartphone or an iPad or a laptop with a small camera that enables you to get your hands on the information and to do the occasional video. Because right now, like I said, we're in the middle of introduction videos. And these introduction videos might sound silly to some, but they are very, very important at putting a face to a name, to looking into somebody's eyes, to hearing their voice, to hearing their story. It creates friendships. It solidifies people's opinions of one another, and it creates that invitation for a deeper learning and an understanding of another individual. So I want to know the people that are in my space. That's very important in order for me to keep a safe space, a nurturing space, an inspiring, creative, nourishing space. That's super important. So, Kelly! Went online. Woohoo! EU. Yay! I love the idea of videos, hearing, seeing, getting to know. That's exactly right. It's so important to be able to put faces to names and so on and so forth, because online can be very ambiguous. Anyone can hide behind a random name. So we want to know your name. We want to know your magical name. Want to know if you've got pets or kids and what part of the world you live in and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to keep it as safe as I can. If I ever evolve past Facebook and find an even better platform for this, then I absolutely will. But for right now, for what I need, this was the most direct method. I know that some people just hate Facebook, and I go through my own feelings about Facebook, but this is for right now. I'm all about organic evolution. If something doesn't work, we modify it so that it does. If it continuously doesn't work, then we chuck it aside and we try something new. Right now, this is working. Would I like to modify it? Absolutely. And so I will keep working on it behind the scenes. But I've also filmed a video. I uploaded a video yesterday, got 2 Coven Chat videos up there, and I've just done 3 videos. And I go into the nitty-gritty conversational style about things that might seem really trivial, things like journals and pens and inks and paper, crystals for a specific reason, not in general, a crystal for a specific reason, and metaphysical maintenance, preparation of the body, preparation of the hearth, a bit of hearth magic, some little tips and tricks and things like that. That's what I was doing today while the weather is just erratic. I also would like you to know that I put effort into my hair today, but I walked outside and it's like the roaring 40s right now. And even though I straightened my fringe just like my beautiful hairdresser told me to, I walked out and it was like, why? Anyways, hello, Kels Rodriguez. Love you. I have just watched your clarification video this morning. Couldn't agree more. Oh, thank you, Luna. Ooh, Kelly Watts. Oh, I think so. No. My online coven is on Patreon. The Patreon doesn't actually allow members to participate in the same way as they can on Facebook by posting videos and posting photos and interacting. So I will be posting all of my content per se on Patreon, and then there'll be the behind the scenes space on Facebook where we can actively engage and interact, and where people can post videos and their talks, because assigning topics for people to explore, study, and then deliver a talk on, that's my bag. I really love it. It's something that I've done for most of my covens. Deity study, divination study. Oh my God, it's just so exciting. Just love it. And then wine and chat nights, because you have to have a really good wine and chat night from time to time with cheese and, live hangouts, and just make it interactive and really interesting. And, the more the merrier. So I've got to go and pick up my daughter now because I'm a mum, and I don't want her waiting at the doorsteps in the rain and the pissing, blowing wind that's happening right now. So love your hair. Thank you, Kels. My hairdresser zhuzhed me. I have I have a video of my hair appointment. I actually walked in there today and I made another appointment for next Wednesday because I want to go a bit darker. And I think the reason why my hair didn't turn out to be so dark this time, I wanted like a really dark red. That's my favorite hair color for myself. And it's a color that I've sort of rocked, but a really deep sort of wine red. But I had henna. I had a botched henna job. And so you know how henna sometimes coats your hair strands and it creates a waxy resistance. So I've got to try and get through it. Thankfully, I didn't leave my henna in for long enough to really do the trick. But there's a little resistance there, so my hair didn't turn out quite as dark. But we're going to get there. It's going to be super fun. All right, guys. Sending you so much love, luck, peace, and joy. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And just wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I sincerely hope that you are surrounded by a witch's magic or a whole bunch of tarot cards or just something ultra mystical that just rocks your world. Big love. Mwah. See ya.